taste some wine?
I sure do.
I sure do. I'm drinking. I like to smell a little bit more.
I like to drink a little bit more. Welcome to our Park Manor 75 video series. We're going to do a series of videos so that you can learn more about us, why we wanted to open Park Manor 75, how we're involved, all the things that we had to go through, the triumphs, the struggles, and just getting a little background information on who we are and why this is important to us.
Yes. So in this video series, today's video is really just a welcome, right? And it's a chance for you all to get to know us and to know what to look forward to in like the upcoming videos. So this video, we're going to just share a lot about Park Manor 75 within 7 points. So the first point that we wanted to share about, what is Park Manor 75 is around the vision. What's the vision of Park Manor 75, right? And so we purchased the property in 75th and St. Lawrence, just really more so being interested in the neighborhood, interested in being a part of the neighborhood before we knew exactly what we were going to do there. One of the things that we just kind of realized is like being long-term residents or lifelong residents of Chicago, specifically the South Side, is that, whenever we want to do something nice, we end up having to like leave our neighborhood. And so the concept for Park Manor 75 was to be something that didn't necessarily, is not necessarily always available to us on the South Side. So the concept itself is built around this idea of investing in our neighborhood, but also beginning to circulate our dollars inside of our neighborhood. So the concept of a wine and charcuterie bar on 75th and St. Lawrence, the concept itself I think came out of during the pandemic.
Yeah. During COVID, of course, we were all stuck in the house, and when everybody was making bread and planting gardens and things of that nature. Well, here we were making charcuterie, a lot of charcuterie, and it became a hobby of sorts, and it was really fun and interesting, and it was a way to be online with our friends and still feeling like we were doing some things. And then once the pandemic kind of lifted a little bit, where we were able to mingle, we would make a lot of charcuterie in those times for our friends. And what's the best thing that goes with charcuterie but wine? So it really planted a seed in our head. Just kind of aha moment came about, like this is kind of what we should do.
We wanted to make sure that it was approachable, that it was something that people could feel like, sometimes you go into a wine bar and it's like 200 wines on the menu. You're like, what's the cheapest one?
You tell me.
I want white, but we wanted somewhere where people could come, dress comfortably, be themselves. And we want the space to match that vibe, right? And to set the tone for how we socialize inside the space. So I think that's one of the really cool things about it, is that the space itself is authentic, right? And that it's something that we can all come to together and share together and learn together. So
yeah, speaking of space, wait until you see it. It is laid out. It is resplendent.
Yeah.
It's resplendent, and it's definitely a jewel of the South Side, if I must say. But that's just to say that we really took time to put into it what we wanted it to be, not only for us, but for you all. And if we're talking about neighborhoods deserving something, we didn't want to put something in the neighborhood that was beneath the neighborhood itself. 75th Street is a jewel within itself. Park Manor neighborhood is a jewel. And we just want to be a good representative of the neighborhood and of the people in that neighborhood.
Okay, point 2. One of the things that was really important to us was that the space, Park Manor 75, the name itself was a call in, right? This idea of it being a hub for the community, right? And so, along with the daily operations, there are a lot of other things that we're going to be doing in the space in terms of wine tastings and this concept of salons where we can get together and have deeper conversations about our immediate neighborhood, the world at large, but just being kind of like a hub for building relationships and making connections.
And we also want to be good neighbors, and we want to get to know all of our neighbors. So it's very welcoming, it's very laid back, it's very chill. And we want to get to know you as much as we would like for you to get to know us. And I think that having something that's welcoming, that's, nice looking, that's comfortable, that's safe, I think that that is a grand approach to building those relationships.
That's something that's always top of mind for me, is like having a space for educators, especially if like in the same neighborhood or across the city, right? But also like with businesses in the neighborhood, like we want like, our business owners to come share space with us and allow us to share space with them as well. But to be able to like strategize, like what do we want this neighborhood to look like? How can we contribute to that? What are the ways that we take away from the neighborhood being what it is, and how do we improve upon that? You need to get that phone.
Yeah, I think it's our daughter.
Light bodied.
Light body. It's light on the tongue.
It's like on the tongue, like skim milk.
Skim milk, yes.
These are things that we learned in our Napa Valley wine certification. I feel like we need to learn a little bit more.
Definitely. Yeah, so the third point we wanted to share is just kind of the love story, our love story together, and our love story in regards to 75th Street. When we were young, we're not so young anymore.
But we do look good.
But we used to always go on these dates on 75th Street. And so we would go to
Cafe Trinidad.
And then on 79th, we went to Yassa. We would always be over there. And every time we were over there, it was like, what is this? And what I mean is, every time we were over there, it was just such a good time. And we just felt very important, very Black. Yeah. Everybody was so friendly. And you could tell that the people in the community really looked out for each other. And I think that that was just a point that was stamped in time in our brains. So when the opportunity came along for us to purchase this building on 75th Street, we definitely ran over there. We just had to have it because we wanted to be a part of that community.
I remember there was a show on Channel 11 called Check Please, and they would like showcase all these like restaurants and places to visit. And Yassa Fish and Cafe Trinidad was on that list, and so like when we were going there, like it was a fancy outing, right?
Yeah, it was very intentional.
Like, drinking wine on 75th Street, being like super fancy or whatever at young 20-somethings. So when we saw the building, like it drew us right back. And I remember my older cousin, she's like 10 years older, and when we told her where it was, she was like, wait, that address sounds familiar, right? And then she's like, wait, that was my daddy's old hand, my uncle. So then she like starts sending us all these pictures, and it's like it's my family, like in this same building. When my great uncle got married to my Aunt June, my whole family was there, and the reception was in this space, which it used to be called Little Felix's. It's part of our love story, but what we are creating is, this is our love song to the Park Manor neighborhood, but also to the south side of Chicago. I think people will fall in love in our space.
Yeah, I hope that they feel the love that we have for the space, and I hope that they feel the love that we have for each other exuding throughout the space.
I think so. Concept 4 that we wanted to share was hard work and perseverance. We purchased this building in 2019. It's 2025, right? First, we had to ideate through a couple of different ideas of what we will build, but then also we wanted to connect with the community and kind of get a sense of from the community as far as like what was needed in the neighborhood, and then also get a feel for like, just like becoming a resident, like, right? So we lived right there on 75th and St. Lawrence. We sold everything to make this a reality, right? But it was important for us to be in space in the community in a different kind of way and really immerse ourselves into that space in that neighborhood. And so, we moved in with our family and everything above what you'll know as Park Manor 75. And so there have been like, through these years, it's been like a lot of like different, like there have been ups, downs, setbacks.
A lot of tears.
Yeah, a lot of tears. It also helped us understand what other businesses in our community go through. It's not easy for anyone to, you don't just open up the doors, right? Like there's a lot to consider and a lot to navigate, specifically in the city of Chicago, right? Specifically on the south side of Chicago, specifically with the amount of resources that we normally have to be able to start something up and actually operate our own businesses and circulate our money in our community, right? Like it's not an easy thing. And so we've seen a whole lot, we've learned a whole lot about ourselves, but also about business in a different kind of way.
And I'll also say that, yeah, I'm sure that there are people who are out here that don't have this sort of story where they have an idea, they have the money, and they're able to, with very little issue, get whatever they want stood up. And for us, we had the ideas, we even had the money. But when I tell you that it was just such a difficult road, you prepare as much as you can, and there are going to be things that happen that just really make you want to just take a seat. Just take a seat. Why am I even doing this? Is this something that I should even be doing? And there were times, and I mean months on end, that we in this household did not even discuss Park Manor 75.
Yeah,
we were defeated.
It was a point of like, to talk about it, you had to carry the emotion of talking about it and the uncertainty of like,
yeah, is this even going to happen?
Something really important that we learned and have been fortunate enough to learn and experience is the appreciation for the support that we've received, sometimes from strangers or people who have now become our friends, and also friends who have become better friends who've been doing like this community building, this business building for a lot longer. Like some Chicago legends have poured into us over the last few years and have kept us going. I think that is also part of the spirit of Park Manor 75, is that we're stronger together, right? And so there's this idea of, as we like hire people, we are considering like how this pushes their life forward, helps their life, but also like helps them be able to like help someone else, right? And that being kind of like the type of folks that we're looking for. Like we want people who really believe in not just business of what we're doing, but who believe in this bigger vision for this as work that we're doing inside of our community.
In terms of individuals that we want to work at Park Manor 75, my idea is always, and I've been in charge of hiring like hundreds of people over my career. And the conversation that I often have with them is not so much about the job that they're currently applying for, but what they want to do. What is your ultimate goal? What is your end game? Or at least just maybe not your end game, but just something that that just speaks to you, that pulls at you every day. And how can we be a launch pad for you to be able to do that? So, our hope is that people will come in and want to become sommeliers, and we'll be able to give them access to that and help them pay for those classes. Our hope is that people will want to open up their own restaurants, their own bars, or maybe just through our community advocacy, they'll see themselves doing more of that type of work in the community. So essentially, our goal is that while we want people to come there, we want them to love working there, we want them to stay, but we don't necessarily want to see you in 5 years.
That's right.
we want to make sure that you're well on your path, and somehow we've helped you either figure out what that path is, or pushed you in the direction where you'll be able to now have access and to getting to that path a little bit quicker or a little bit easier.
We want to talk about the opportunity. We both have been have led organizations in Chicago and have had tremendous impact on organizations and people's lives, and this is an opportunity for us to do that specifically in our own neighborhood. And so for us to be a resource, right? So for us to be able to go out and connect and say like, hey, this is how my mind works, this is the way I see things, maybe that might be helpful to you. But also for us to build together, right? And for us to be thoughtful about the future that we want to see, how Park Manor plays into that, the neighborhood, how Park Manor, the neighborhood, plays into the city, but also how Park Manor 75 plays into the neighborhood.
Another opportunity is with the businesses that are in the community. Also, just being able to be like, hey, these are some of the things that some initiatives that we want to take on. What do you think about that? Are we going to help send some kids back to school? Are we going to what is it that the community needs? How can we all get together to ensure that nobody's lacking and that we're doing as much as we can to assist with community efforts, not just once a year, but having just money on hand as a collective to say these are some of the initiatives that we are pushing on 75th Street in Park Manor, and how can we help uplift our own community. My hope is that us, along with some of the other businesses that have already laid the groundwork, that are there, but people will see us uplifting our community and they'll say, hey, you know what, I want to start a business there. I want to open a restaurant there. I want to open something that's going to be beneficial to the community. And my dream is just that any boarded up building, anything that's like in being misused or in disuse, has a person in there who cares about the community. And we one day walk out on 75th Street and people are just walking up and down the street, and the sidewalks are lined with people who are investing in the community and bringing their dollars to the community. So
this is the last concept I think we want to center it on, this idea of safety. So Charlette was just actually, we were talking a little bit off camera. I think it's important for you to say, but you were just saying about how you think about safety. What is safety?
Yeah, so safety for me is twofold. Safety, one, is being able to come someplace where you literally feel safe. You don't feel like you're going to be robbed, or you're not going to get into some type of altercation, or just safe. But the second idea of safety to me is being able to come somewhere and be comfortable. Be comfortable in who you are as a person. Be comfortable in your religion, in your sexuality, in your who you are as a person. We're not here to tamper anybody's attitude. Sometimes we often hear, oh, don't say that, don't do that. And of course, we certainly want people to come and act accordingly, but you're safe. It's a safe space. And I want to get that point across, is that it's safe for everyone. So this isn't a place where, as much as we even talk about for us, by us, if you're not us, it's safe for you. If you're a person of a different faith, it's safe for you. If you're a person that has a different type of lifestyle, it's safe for you.
If you're a woman,
you don't have to worry about being catcalled or somebody being in your space, or in reverse, you not being able to take up space. Because oftentimes we're told we can't take up space. You can't dress a certain way. You can't act a certain way. So this is a safe space for everybody. And that is one of our key, within our mission and vision statement. Like, this place is for everybody. We want everybody to come there. We want everybody to have a good time. We want everybody to just be able to relax and be themselves. And I feel like not only are we in charge of your safety, keeping you physically safe, but we are in charge of you feeling mentally safe while in our space. And that's something that I believe that we take very seriously.
Absolutely. Yeah. That idea that mentally safe, I think it's beyond, this idea of like, a lot of times we go places or work and things like that. And it's like, you got to wear the mask and all that kind of stuff. And like, then you go back to your neighborhood and you go back home, and you're still wearing the same kind of mask, and you're not allowing yourself the opportunity to grapple with ideas in a place where people are willing to allow you to grapple with those ideas and concepts and be idealistic as you want to be and all that kind of stuff. It's a place where you could come and be with people and and just sharing conversation or not, right? Whatever it needs to be for you in that particular moment.
Yeah, I like how you ended that. Whatever it needs to be for you in that particular moment. But that you all feel comfortable and open enough with us to share and to have those moments with us. And for that in advance, we already thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.